Xiaomi came up with a new set of smartphones, and one of those smartphones is the Xiaomi 14T Pro. It comes with a 50 megapixel Leica camera, Gemini and AI features, and 144Hz display. And today we will check out everything this phone has to offer. By the way, you will find all of the links to the smartphone down below in the description. With the Xiaomi 14T Pro, you will get a smartphone that is just as big as the iPhone Pro Max, with a screen size of 6.67 inches, but it is a little bit lighter with just 209 grams. This phone has a scratch and drop resistant glass front and an aluminum alloy metallic frame, and this one is supposed to be drop resistant as well. Now the coolest part of this phone is probably the backside. Right here you will see that the whole upper section of this phone is basically your camera. It is a triple lens camera with two 50 megapixel cameras for normal and telephoto shots and one 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. And they are all mounted on a separate metal element, and since this camera element is this huge, this phone doesn't even wiggle around as much when you put it flat on its back. Now we also have a slight color separation between the camera element and the rest of the phone, as this one looks a little bit more gray. So I got that Titan blue version, but this phone is also available in the colors Titan gray and Titan black. I actually have the 14T in titanium gray right here as well, just so you can see how this one looks like. I also noticed that you can see all of your fingerprints on this shiny backside, but not on your frame. Now the backside actually curves around towards the frame, and I also noticed that you have some kind of protection on your screen already. By the way, this phone is IP68 water and dust resistant, up to 2 meters for 30 minutes, and you have a dual SIM card tray. Now as for your display, like I said, you've got a large 6.67 inch AMOLED display with Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus, and the screen lights up with a peak brightness of 4000 nits. Also, if you turn off the auto brightness, you will get an extra sunlight mode, which expands the brightness range and adjusts the brightness automatically under some bright conditions. You have a 144Hz display, but you can also trim it down to just 60Hz or leave it in the auto mode to save some of your battery life. And you also have a few more useful display features, like you got the color scheme. By default, it is set to Original Color Pro, but you can also decide between a more vivid or saturated style. And then you can also adjust the color temperature. You also have a reading mode which adjusts the colors and textures of the items on your screen, allowing your eyes to relax a little bit. And when it comes to watching movies or videos on this phone, I had no problems at all. The colors are poppy and bright, you have inky blacks and a good contrast. And also, the bezels all around the phone are super slim. You can barely tell that you even have any. As for the sound, you have a set of stereo speakers and Dolby Atmos support, and you have an equalizer to play around with in your sound settings. But when it comes to listening to music and videos, the speakers are more than loud enough, and the quality is decent as well, as long as the volume isn't turned up all the way, but that's how it sounds like.
Smaller 40mm version and a larger 44mm one. But which size should you get? I got both versions of the active model right.
So next up we have the battery life, and I want to start first with the charging speed, as this one is just insanely fast. You have 120 watts fast charging, which would fully charge your smartphone in under 20 minutes. Then you also have 50 watts wireless charging, which only takes about 45 minutes for a full charge, but you have none of those chargers when you buy this phone, at least over here in Germany, and I think in the whole EU as well. You have to get those ones separately. Now the Xiaomi 14T Pro has a 5000 mAh battery, and this one lasts about 13 hours on continuous use, which is more than long enough for a whole workday, plus you will still have some battery life left the next day. So as for next, we have the features. And first you need to know that Xiaomi promises 4 years of OS and 5 years of security updates. So like I said, you have a dual SIM card tray, but no extra space for an extra SD card. So you're stuck with the 256, 512 or 1 terabyte of internal storage with 12 gigs of RAM. So I have the smallest, and about 11 gigs are already used up by the system, and 16 gigs are used up for some system files. So there's also a fingerprint sensor that you will find underneath your display, and I think this one as well as your face detection both work actually pretty good, and you even have some different fingerprint animations. Now the Xiaomi 14T Pro comes with an always display mode with different signatures, theme styles, analog and digital clocks. There are also a few AI features like the AI image engine, which can enhance your videos and upscale the resolution. There is the AI HDR enhancement, or the MEMC, which adds some additional frames to your videos to make the content appear smoother. you actually have a AI subtitle, but it seems that you need to be in Xiaomi beta tester to use this feature, but at least you have some other normal features that you have on all HyperOS smartphones, like you have a heart rate sensor, a second space, and floating windows. But there's also a one-handed mode, which you definitely need with such a large smartphone, and then you have also something like your 3-finger gesture controls to make a screenshot, and you can open up the torch by just double pressing the power button. By the way, you also have Gemini on your smartphone as well. Now over to the performance and the gaming, and the Xiaomi 14T Pro runs on a MediaTek Dimensity 9300 Plus, and since you have 12 gigs of RAM, everything feels super smooth on this phone. You can open up apps without a delay and work on multiple tabs at the same time without a problem. As for your gaming experience, now I downloaded Genshin Impact and I tried playing it on the highest graphics settings, and even without the game booster, I had no lags in my time playing it. Not even a big battle when a lot of stuff happens at the same time. You've got a game booster with the performance mode, and you'll see your frame rate before and after using it. You have the D&D mode, you can screen record, open up apps while you're playing, and there's even a voice changer. So in my opinion, a pretty good gaming smartphone. Alright, as well as the camera. Now, as I said, you have a 50 megapixel main camera with optical image stabilization, you have a 50 megapixel telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera by Leica. You can also shoot videos with up to 8K resolution, but right here you can only have 30 FPS max. So I would stick to 4K resolution with 60 FPS. Now on the front side you have a 32 megapixel selfie cam, but this one can only shoot videos with 4K and 30 FPS. So right here I would again stick to the lower settings and shoot videos with 1080p and 60 FPS. You also have quite a lot of photo modes on this phone, like a portrait mode with a slider to adjust the depth of field. You have a face retouch and there's a zoom option. There is a night mode, a mode for short videos, time-lapse, panorama, and a pro mode, just to name a few. Now during the day, the main camera photos are pretty good. They have pleasant colors and wide dynamic range, and the sharpness and details are very good. The detail isn't 100% natural looking, as some textures have some over-processed look. Shots of people look good too, with solid, well-defined facial detail and a good skin tones. The depth of field is quite shallow, which is great for isolating your subject from the background, but in the settings you can also adjust it with a slider. Now you need to know that there are two different photo modes in which you can shoot photos. So there's the Leica Authentic mode, which gives you a stylistic result and less vibrant colors, and then there's also a more natural style, but you can always switch between these two. Also, the 2x zoom is great on the phone with enough detail and definition. I also like the ultra wide angle camera, as they are sharp enough and the dynamic range is wide, and also the colors look good on it. And guys, there we have it. That's the Xiaomi 14T Pro. Now, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more tech reviews. And I guess with that one being said, I will see you in the next one. Peace.